Okay, so where are we at today? Well, we're in Ohio, and this isn't a police officer. It is a police department employee. And we're going to look at this in the date, and then we're going to go to reader mode so the ads will quit popping up, and then we'll come back and watch the video. Lorain County man questions how officers handled incident involving police department employee. Elyria Police Department employee struck bicyclist, then left the scene of the accident. And this is from February 17th, 2025. Elyria, Ohio. I guess it's Lorain County man is questioning how officers handled a hit-and-run accident that involved a police department employee. After the driver struck the man on his bicycle, she left the scene of the accident, and the incident was all caught on camera. Justin Ballou, 40, has had a rough life. Not only is he homeless, but he has also been diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called sarcoma. Ballou just lost his job last year after someone busted his bike, his only mode of transportation, during a hit-and-run accident. A lot of things in my life haven't been right, said Ballou, so I've got to suck it up. Just take it. The incident happened on June 13th, 2024, when Ballou was riding his bicycle past the Elyria Police Department. That's when he was suddenly struck by a black BMW. The driver kept on going. Went right through, did a rolling stop, right on through, said Ballou. Just ran the bike clear over. 19 investigators learned the driver was Francis Ross, 64, a 30-year employee of the Elyria Police Department who currently works as the department's application specialist. We obtained EPD surveillance video showing Ballou riding his bike past the police department that day. As Ross pulls out of the driveway, video shows she looks to her right and then her left. She then rolls through the stop sign, hits Ballou, and keeps going. Ballou's bike is all bent up, and he appears confused by what just happened. The front forks are messed up, the wheel was messed up, and a little bit of the frame, said Ballou. In the video, Ballou can be seen trying to roll his bike down the street, but the front wheel is too damaged. He then carries his Schwinn to the bike rack, where he locks it up, then walks inside the police department to file a complaint. They said they'll look into it, said Ballou, but I kind of had a feeling they wouldn't because it was somebody coming out of their gate. According to Ballou, officer told him the case would be investigated by an outsourced agency since it involved one of their employees. Yes, and the outside agency is usually the sheriff's office, and they're all buddy-buddy, and they're not going to do anything about it. But when weeks passed by and nobody contacted him, he began asking questions. The prosecutor told me nothing had been transferred up there, said Ballou. They don't have any record of the case. And Elyria said they didn't either. Who was surprised about that? 0 people should be. According to Ohio's revised code section 4549.02, drivers who knowingly leave the scene of an accident may face criminal charges. Knowingly leave the scene of an accident. Remember that. But in this case, Ross claims she didn't know she had hit someone. Records show Ross wasn't cited for the accident until August 22nd, 2 months later. Probably because they reviewed the footage and they're like, there is no fucking way she couldn't have seen him. In an email, Elyria's law director Amanda Deary wrote, my understanding is that the August date is the date that the citation was issued and that the June date is, in fact, the incident date. The Elyria Police Department told 19 investigators the discrepancy was a clerical error. No, it wasn't. They didn't write that shit up until he complained. They were going to just let that go. In the rare situations that a clerical error does occur, this routinely is corrected on the court record, wrote Deary. In this case, Ms. Ross pleaded no contest at arraignment, was found guilty and sentenced, and the case was immediately resolved. It appears without providing opportunity for such a correction. Records show in September, Ross did go to court, was found guilty of failing to yield and issue a $50 fine. That was the punishment. They make it sound so severe. It was not. Ballou said he never knew Ross was the one that hit him because officers never followed up with him. 19 investigators contacted Ross by email. She replied stating, I was off duty and left the property for an appointment. She was off duty. She's a pencil pusher. Clearly, I never saw nor felt the accident occur. I clearly would have stopped and responded accordingly if that were the case. Now, we're going to look at this video and you tell me. Ross went on to say, once I was made aware of the accident, I attempted to contact the bicycle owner who was uninjured to offer to repair or replace the bicycle. Contact was unable to be made. That's a lie. However, we found Ballou's cell phone number listed on the crash report. Shocking. There's his phone number right there. I even asked for a replacement bike, like anything, and And they didn't, said Ballou. Police said Ballou was riding his bike on the wrong side of the road. However, he didn't receive a citation. Okay, he's on a bike in a, looks like, mostly slow residential area. They'll write you for anything. They don't care. There's also no mention in the report of Ross failing to come to a complete stop at the stop sign. Ballou said police did call him about his bike, which they were storing in their property room. Yeah, they want you to come get that before they start charging you storage fees. Detective R. Whiting also wrote a letter to Ballou dated July 15th stating the department would dispose of his bike if he didn't claim it within 30 days. However, Ballou says EPD broke the lock while removing his bike from the rack. With a broken lock and busted bike, it wasn't worth claiming it. Of course they did. They'll just cut all that shit off. They don't care. Elyria Safety Service Director Chris Payanowski tells us a North Ridgeville prosecutor reviewed the case and determined what charges should be filed against Ross. In an email, Payanowski wrote, "It's my understanding that the matter was referred to a special prosecutor to review and make a determination of what charges may be appropriate. When he completed his review and communicated his determination to Elyria Police Department, a citation was issued based on his conclusion." The special prosecutor was North Ridgeville's prosecutor Sean Kelleher. 19 Investigates contacted Kelleher on Monday. He said he is currently out of the office but would try to provide some answers later in the week. Yes, and his answer to the question was no comment. Of course, I was queued up past this, but here we are.
Questioning how officers handled a hit-and-run accident involving a police department employee.
The driver left the scene of the accident, and this was all caught on camera. 19 investigator Mike Mason breaking a story you'll only see on one station.
Justin Ballou has had a rough life. Not only is he homeless and has major health problems,
my cancer's getting worse.
He also lost his job after someone
You saw that, right? Stop.
Ballou has had a rough life. Not only is he homeless and has major health problems,
my cancer's getting worse.
He also lost.
Didn't even drive straight to the stop sign. Stop. And in North Carolina, you're supposed to stop. Complete stop. And you know when you've made a complete stop because the car will rock forward and it will rock backwards. It will stop. And you're supposed to look left. You're supposed to look right. And then you're supposed to look left again in case something moves out or comes into what that you didn't see when you looked left the first time. Didn't even stop. And he is right there. And she claims she never saw him. It's not like she's driving a tractor trailer. She's in a little Tic Tac. And she claims she never even saw him. What was she looking at? Clearly not anything out here. And so they want to write him for riding on the wrong side of the road in this area that they are in. It's ridiculous. She says she did not see him.
Lost his job after someone busted his bike during a hit-and-run accident.
A lot of things in my life haven't been right, so I gotta suck it up. Just take it.
It happened in June of last year when Ballou was riding his bicycle past the Elyria Police
Didn't
Department.
even stop.
That's
How did she not see him?
By a black BMW, and the driver kept on going.
Went right through, did a rolling stop right on through, and just ran the bike clear over.
19 Investigates learned the driver was Francis Ross, a 30-year employee of the Elyria Police Department. We obtained surveillance video of Ballou riding his bike past the police department, and as Ross pulls out of the driveway, video shows she looks to her right, then to her left, and then she rolls through the stop.
How did she not see him? It looks like at this point, I don't know if that's sunglasses, maybe she's looking to the left. She didn't stop. Had she have stopped, she would have. How do you hit this person on this bike and say, sorry, didn't know I hit anybody?
Sign hits Ballou and keeps on going. Ballou's bike is all bent up. He seems confused about what just happened.
The front forks were messed up, the wheel was messed up, and a little bit of the frame.
Ballou carries his Schwinn to the bike rack, locks it up, and walks inside the police department to file a complaint.
They said they'll look into it, but I kind of had a feeling they wouldn't because there was somebody coming out of their gate.
According to Ballou, officers told him the case would have to be investigated by an outside agency since it involved one of their own. But when nobody contacted him, he began asking questions.
The prosecutor told me there was nothing had been transferred up there. They don't have any record of the case. And Elyria said they didn't either.
In hit-and-run cases, drivers who knowingly leave the scene of an accident may face criminal charges.
Knowingly. She said she didn't know she hit anybody. Not my fault. And then, instead of asking him the combination to that bike lock so they could take it off in one piece, what'd they do? They cut it off.
But in this case, Ross claims she didn't know she had hit someone, and records show she wasn't cited for the accident until 2 months later. In September, Ross went to court and was found guilty of failing to yield. She then received a $50 fine. Ballou says he never knew Ross was the one who hit him because nobody followed up on his case.
I mean, I'm not even mad at her. I just wish she would have stopped.
We contacted Ross by email. She replied saying, "Clearly I never saw nor felt the accident occur. I certainly would have stopped and responded accordingly if that were the case." She went on to say, "Once I was made aware of the accident, I attempted contact with the bicycle owner, who was uninjured, to offer to repair or replace the bicycle. Contact was unable to be made. However, we found Ballou's cell phone number was listed on the crash report."
She hasn't called me.
Never.
No. I would remember something like that. I've had that phone number for
Now, she's in charge of applications. You think she'd know where a damn phone number's at.
5 years. I even asked for a replacement bike. Like anything. And they didn't. Well, we can't just do that. I get it. Okay.
They can just do that.
Thank you. Anyway.
We should note that Ballou was riding his bicycle on the wrong side of the road, but he wasn't cited for it. The city tells us the case was referred to a North Ridgeville prosecutor. After he reviewed it, he determined that Ross should be cited.
She was so far off of where that stop was at. What if a car was turning in here? She was right here when she made that turn. What if a car was coming in this way?
For failure to yield. Mike Mason, 19 News.
Thank you, Mike. Now, since the police department didn't want to do anything, Good Samaritan helps man who was struck on his bike by Elyria Police Department employee, and this is from February 20th. Elyria, Ohio, 19 investigators first reported how a police department employee hit a man on his bike and kept going. Shortly after our story aired earlier this week, some Good Samaritans are now stepping in to help. On Monday, we showed you how the Elyria Police Department employee struck a homeless man while he was riding his bike past the employee's entrance and then took off. That struck a nerve with some viewers, and they wanted to do something special for him. I saw the story, and I'm honestly heartbroken, said Emma Stratcher. That's not right whatsoever to just drive away and not do anything about it. That's why Emma Stratcher immediately contacted her father, Wally. She saw the story this morning and texted me and asked if we could help you out. I said, "Of course," said Wally Stratcher. Wally Stratcher owns a bicycle repair and restoration shop called Wally's Lost Bicycles at 600 Cornell Avenue in Elyria. He and his daughter wanted to help Justin Ballou, the homeless man who was hit while riding his bike last June. The Elyria Police Department surveillance cameras caught the moment when 30-year employee Francis Ross drove her BMW out of the parking lot, rolled through the stop sign, hit Ballou, then drove off. It's just sad that something like this, happened, and that the city didn't take any responsibility or step up and do anything, said Wally Starcher. After the accident, Ballou immediately filed a complaint. However, he claims no one at the EPD followed up. Records show an officer cited Ross 2 months later, only because he complained that somebody hit his bike, and then they figured out there was, hey, we got some video surveillance here, and let's look at it. She went to court. Well, the news did. She went to court and was found guilty of failing to yield. Ross was fined $50. The crash cost Ballou much more than that. With his bike busted, he lost his only mode of transportation and his job. They do not care. They can't help a grown man who uses his bike to get to work, asked Emma Starcher. When 19 investigators contacted Ross by email, she told us she didn't even know she hit Ballou. Ballou claims Ross never contacted him. That's why the Starchers wanted to make it right. I had to figure out a way to get him a bike, said Emma Starcher. A lot of things like this don't even get posted on social media or reported until people like you come and do an article on it, said Emma Starcher. The Starcher brought the bike to a gas station in Grafton, close to where Ballou has been currently staying. It's a one-of-a-kind vintage bike, a 1976 Murray 5-speed. Oh, that's a good one. Red, white, and blue, 76 bicentennial, said Wally Starcher. This is my Captain America bike. That's what I call it. Emma Starcher also offered Ballou some swag from their shop. We got a t-shirt, a long sleeve, and a hoodie. We wanted to hook you up. Here's a lock for it, said Wally Starcher. Brand new helmet in case it happens again, and next time you hit the ground or something. Let's pray it doesn't happen again, said Ballou. Ballou says the gesture of generosity has renewed his faith in humanity. Not too many people are nice to me, said Ballou. I'm grateful. Thank you. It's nice to see there's still good people out there. There are good people out there. Usually not law enforcement, but there are good people out there. The city of Elyria tells 19 investigates that North Ridgeville prosecutor Sean Kelleher reviewed the case and determined Ross should be cited for failing to yield. We contacted Kelleher and asked why he didn't seek additional charges against Ross. He told 19 investigators the following. Reviewing the video, it does not appear that she had any idea that she had made contact with a bicycle. He was damn near in front of her. Is she so damn old that she can't see him? Because I'm confused about what she saw, because even though she's looking right, your eyes are tracking. So you look to the right, but as you're looking, you're seeing as you're looking to the right. And then she looked to the left. Now maybe if she had looked to the left first, because she's going to be making a left-hand turn across traffic to see if any traffic is coming, and then to the right, and then to the left again, he would have been more... Hell, she'd have probably killed him. Reviewing the video, it does not appear that she had any idea that she had made contact with the bicyclist. There's absolutely no hesitation once she starts her left-hand turn that would lead me to believe that she realized anything had happened. In order to be guilty of hit skip, a motorist has to know that they hit somebody or something, or just say they didn't know they hit them and keep going, because the cyclist was riding on the wrong side of the street, which is in itself illegal, and I'm surprised they did not cite him for that. I don't think she was aware he was there. He may have been shielded from her view by the car's A-pillar. Please stop. It's not like it's a big... She's driving a damn tic-tac. She does not see a man on a bicycle almost in front of her, but let's blame the way the car's made for her not seeing him. And she didn't even stop at the stop sign. The contact was incidental enough that he remained upright. Probably because he saw it was about to happen and tried to put his feet down and shield it. Anyway. Of course.
On a story from earlier this week about a police department employee who hit a man riding his bike, then just kept going. After seeing our story, some good Samaritans are now stepping in to help. 19 investigator Mike Mason has our story.
Our story struck a nerve for some people, and that's why they wanted to do something extra special. When 19 Investigates aired a report about how an Elyria Police Department employee struck...
He is right there. Look, she looks like that's her looking completely this way. Okay, how about pull up to the fucking stop sign like you're supposed to? She is completely in oncoming traffic's lane. We're right here making a turn in. Stop at the stop sign. Look to your left, look to your right, look to your left again, and you won't hit somebody that's literally almost right in front of you.
A man on his bike, then drove off. Well, it struck a nerve.
I saw the story and it honestly broke my heart, because that's not right whatsoever to just drive away and not do anything about it.
Emma Starcher immediately contacted her father, Wally.
She saw the story this morning and texted me and asked if we could help you out. And I said, of course, you know.
Of course.
Wally Starcher owns a bike shop in Elyria.
I'm the neighborhood-friendly bike guy everybody knows.
Wally and his daughter wanted to help Justin Ballou, the homeless man who was struck on his bike last June. Surveillance cameras were rolling when EPD employee Frances Ross drove her BMW out of the parking lot, rolled through the stop sign, struck Ballou, then drove off.
It's just sad that something like this, happened, and that the city didn't, take any responsibility or step up and do anything,
Coming up, Baloo not only receives a new bike, but he's in for a special surprise. I'll have that report tonight at 6. Mike Mason, 19 News.
Thank you, Mike. Well, I might have to go look that up and see what that new surprise is, unless it's the jackets and stuff they were talking about earlier. But yes, they do not care. They care zero. She probably got back there and told them what happened, and they're like, here's what you do. You say you didn't know you hit anybody. And she says, if I had known I hit somebody, I'll stop. Y'all saw it. How did she not know? Should she not be driving at all? Maybe she needs to start taking an Uber from here to there, everywhere. Anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comments. Also, again, 90% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You're right there. You're right there at that button. You can see it. Just click it and let me know what you think. And I'm out.